I don't have a one fucking good thing to say about tonight. I'm sorry. The gloves are coming off. So if you're around kids, I know that there's 485 people in here right now. If you're around kids, you might want to turn it the fuck off. Because all night long, from the opening kickoff, you had a fucking horrendous play call on offense. The offensive scheme was shit. I'm sorry. Gloves have to come off at this point. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I don't understand why the hell you don't run the ball the entire second half and then you run the ball at the 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go. Don't say LSU couldn't run the ball because we charted it. Corey Connor, 7-yard run. Corey Connor, 8-yard run. Corey Connor, 7-yard run, and then you don't run him again. You're running pop passes. They're getting tipped up at the line. You can't get the play calls in. Orgeron has to call a timeout because Jake Peets is so damn incompetent to get a play call in when you're coming out from the kickoff. Thank you, Durante Jones, for keeping that game close. Thank you to the defense for keeping the game close. Oh, by the way, they played their hearts out. I know that they can't tackle Bo Nix. I understand that. But at some point, somebody on the offense has to step up. I defended the offensive line. You played like shit because, quite honestly, you are right. You are what you are right now. You're not good. You've never been good this season. Coach O, then I'm going to start getting into these comments because I know what's about to happen in these comments. I know the first one's going to be Fire Orgeron. Quite honestly, dog, I ain't got nothing for you. I ain't got nothing for him right now, y'all. You went out, you hired Bo Pelini, you wanted to bring in the 2000, in this season, you bring in Jake Peets, you want to recreate Joe Brady. Joe Burrow's not here no more, Orgeron. He's not here anymore. Stop comparing everything to 19. The comparisons of Gene Chizik, all that bullshit, it's over with, dog. That season is over with. You come out here with this incompetence. The thing for me is the lack of physicality on offense. I agree with Aaron here. Let's get to a couple of these comments. Aaron says defense is not our problem. Hell no, defense wasn't our problem. Let's go through the game. Third and out on the second to last possession. You're only giving up, how do I want to say this? Tank Bigsby, the awesome All-American running back, can't get anything going on the ground. The front seven holds up, but time in and time out, LSU goes down and has to kick a field goal because, quite honestly, they don't know what they're doing. You make money as a coordinator, what you do in the red zone. When you're incompetence and you can't even call the play or get the play call in, guys, this has been a problem for weeks. This isn't something that started tonight. What the Rudy poo hell have you been doing over the last 4 weeks? What in the hell has LSU been doing over the last 4 weeks? The check with me's and all the Rudy poo-ness. Don't understand it, y'all. Ryan Thibodeau sends us $5 on the super chat. He says, I'm not saying fire anyone, but if you don't run the effing ball, you can't win the game. You're damn right you can't win the game. Everybody, I appreciate when you send us super chats. Hell no, you can't win the game. And then LSU wants to give Ty Davis Price his third carry of the night. Let me check. The third carry in the second half with 1 minute and 45 seconds left. If that does not show you the lack of just football knowledge in that building, I don't know what to tell you. You know why Max looks flustered? Because he knows the damn play's not going to work. You want the gloves to come off? That I'm reporting it. Confirmed. Want to know why he's acting like that? Because he doesn't have faith in this play caller. Confirmed. This is what I do during the game. This is what I do. Guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times on the first 3 pages, I quote, I make a star. What is the offense running there? The entire second half, LSU doesn't get Kayshon Boutte involved hardly at all. The best player on offense, and you don't get him involved until really the last series in the second half. And I'm not putting it on Kayshon Boutte. He drops the ball there at the end, a critical catch. I can't put that on him. A great effort there. He dropped it. But why do you not get your best player offensively the ball more in the second half? I tell you this, guys, I tell you this all the time. Yards don't mean shit when you can't score. Heads are going to roll, dog. I'm just telling you. Dion says second game, Coach O has gotten out coached. Yep. David says this whole show needs to be a rant. It is. It is. David, it's going to be a rant. For all the people that have Facebook groups and all this kind of stuff, I'm sorry, but it's going to be a rant. Brandon says, thank you for telling the truth, Blake. Well, guys, I mean, what else can we say right now? There's no more holding the gloves and not going bare knuckle on this bitch. Like, that's over with. I've seen a couple of these. Glenn and a whole bunch of other people have said to fire Orgeron. Guys, I'm going to go down to the bottom of the comments. Do you want Orgeron fired? I know what's about to happen. I know what's about to happen here. Darian says it's crazy how we have a pass game and no running game. Guys, it's not even the lack of not having a running game. This is what great offensive minds do all the time. Guys, quite honestly, Auburn had struggles. They didn't have, I think, there at the end, they surpassed 100 yards on the ground, but all night, Auburn couldn't run the football. When Auburn wanted to try to run the football, what did they do? They got Shivers out in the flat. They threw it to him in the flat because they couldn't run the football, and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to get innovative with throwing the ball to our running backs out in space. Hey, the best player on our offense isn't our best pass catcher, but we're going to put Shivers and Hunter in the game. We're going to throw them the football, and we're going to get innovative because we can't run the football with the monsters that LSU has up front. Guys, this isn't on defense. At some point, your defense is going to break. They're going to break. And then you finally throw the ball. I forget the series. LSU finally throws the ball out in the flat to a running back and gets 9 yards. I couldn't believe it. You had series like in the 6 offensive possession or the 6 series total. LSU goes out on offense. Timeout to start the drive. Me writing this. How does that happen coming off a 4th down? Then you go to Dre Jenkins for a first down. Jack Besh on a crossing route for 41 yards. Smith misses a touchdown. False start on Turner. And then you got to kick a field goal. When you have penalties in the red zone, that gets you beat. That gets you beat. And Orgeron can't call a timeout there when his guys don't know what the hell's going on because he already burned a timeout when you really needed points, in which he probably should have burned the timeout when you absolutely needed points down in the red zone that would have won you the effing game. He had to call a timeout in the beginning of the series, and Max Johnson's holding up his hands because the play call hasn't come in yet. I don't understand it. Mark says, Coach O don't know how to coach. He depends on everyone else. Well, it sure as hell looks that way. It sure as hell looks that way. And up front, quite honestly, they're getting outplayed. Tedrick says, Pete's can... I should have read that before I put that on. I should have read that before I put that on there. Cody says Max Johnson needs to stop throwing those helium underthrown balls. Well, look, the first scoring drive of the game, he threw an absolute dime to Kayshon Boutte in double coverage right in the breadbasket. That, guys, when you have a player like Kayshon Boutte, sometimes you have to take risk and throw him the football. Period. Guys, think about what I'm telling you. Let's take a step back for just a second of my yelling. Kayshon Boutte, the best player on the field in the second half, was not involved in the offensive game plan, and LSU only scored 3 points in the second half. Hats off to Auburn's defense. Hats off to Derek Mason. They made serious adjustments defensively. They put 5 guys in the box. 5 guys in the box, and LSU said, we're not even going to run it. Then you come out. What series was it? The 12th total series. Corey Connor gets 14 yards. Besh gets a couple of catches. Connor, they have LSU get stopped on 3rd down. If you remember, they go for it on 4th down. Connor gets the first down on 3 yards. Max pulls the zone read. He slips. You should have come back to that. And then you have the biggest bugaboo of the night. Austin Deculus' ass, the oldest man in probably the SEC, has a holding call. Max takes the sack fumble, and then LSU recovers it, and then you finally kick your field goal in the second half. That was your only points. Then you would go 3 and out, and then you would put some drives together, and you couldn't get shit. You couldn't get anything. To start the half, Ty Davis-Price gets a run, 8 yards, 5 guys in the box. Booty has a first down on a catch. Max scrambles for a first down and then takes a hit out of bounds. You get a penalty. LSU does not run the ball again. Auburn, at one point, had 9 guys in coverage. The one time you remember, what's his name? McElroy said he couldn't believe it that Auburn actually put 9 guys in coverage. Guys, they had a play call where they had 9 individuals in coverage, and we're not running the football. I don't understand it. Everyone do me a favor by hitting the like and share. Normally I say that in the beginning, but I'm so pissed off. Everyone doing it. There's 485 of you. Please do me a favor by hitting the retweet. If you're on YouTube, like and share. Facebook, like and share to some groups, because every LSU fan needs to talk about this right now. Come on. Eddie Santos says, I would not be surprised if a couple of freshmen transfer and recruits decommit. Well, you'll start seeing guys decommitting, especially if Woodward makes a move. I mean, guys, at this point, you know, I have not been sitting here saying fire Orgeron, and I don't know. I don't want to get emotional, and I want to take time on it. Because like some in the LSU media, I'm not an elitist like some bald head scallywags are. So I'm going to take the time to, think about that before I start saying fire somebody. But it's not good. The incompetence is unreal. It's unreal. Kari says defense played much better today. Offense absent in the second half. Guys, you didn't really even need them, really. You didn't even really need them in the second half. Let's go to these stats. You didn't even need them in the second half. Guys, they did nothing. Jacob says, we have the best offensive mind in all of football, and Sean Payton, an hour down the road, consult his ass. Well, he ain't letting you do that. He's a Rudy Poo in his own right. He's not letting LSU do that anymore since the whole Joe Brady thing, and then him and Orgeron got into it, which y'all don't know about, but him and Orgeron get into it because, and then Orgeron had the what's the word I'm looking for? Had the nuts to go back and try to pull Ryan Nelson, and they couldn't do it. It's so dumb. So let's look at some of these stats from tonight. Box score. But look, I want to say this too. I got to tip my cap to Bo Nix, right? Like I'm going to tip my cap to Bo Nix. There were guys, he played with extreme heart, and you got to give Bo Nix credit for some of the things that he was doing, scrambling, throwing the ball with his left hand so that Auburn got a first down. The thing, he just had more heart tonight than I've ever seen him play with. Guys, Bo Nix is 2-1 against you. Under Ed Orgeron, Bo Nix and Auburn is 2-1 against you. Don't understand it, man. Seth says, you're really going to have to hang your hat on less penalized team. I get what you're saying, but the issue is clearly coaching, dude. Well, look, and LSU got bailed out in some of these drives. To Seth's point, LSU completely got bailed out. The false, the offsides when Liam Shanahan got knocked backwards, but then you kicked the field goal. I mean, did LSU only scored one offensive touchdown, y'all? Guys, LSU only scored one offensive touchdown against Auburn's defense. A defense that's been severely struggling. One. Cade York was your highest scoring point total guy tonight, and you only scored one touchdown. Mark says Johnson under 3, 1 to Thomas and 1 to Palmer, got to lead him. Yeah. Todd says can't win in this league without a running game. No, you can't. No, you can't. And I am not going to hear this Lane Kiffin shit. The whole toss the headset bullshit. Guys, I tell you that all the time. You may like it, but pettiness gets your ass beat. Childish ass. Michael Wilbon, now I look like a Rudy Poo for sticking up for Kiffin and saying that he had matured. And then the first thing he did coming out of the game was he didn't mature and did that shit. Lane Smith says, isn't going anywhere. We can forget that. All right. No. Okay. That ain't true, man. Jacob said, we saw that one. Kari. Let's see. Bert says, can we send Kelly Orgeron some chocolates and flowers and a card and get her back? Maybe you should, because the truth is that really Ed ain't been the same since Kelly left that ass. Bill says recruiting took a big hit tonight. Yeah, I mean, look, you had all your best recruits. You had all your best recruits in the house tonight. You got beat. And guys, the truth is, if you think that this isn't even the tip of the iceberg yet. You got to go to Alabama. You got to go to Ole Miss. You got to, I think, was Arkansas here. You got Arkansas coming into town. You got Florida. You got Kentucky next week on the road. I mean, guys, this doesn't get any easier. After what Kentucky did today, I don't know if LSU does score an offensive touchdown. Guys, this isn't going to get any better. And unless LSU finds a way to start doing some things, getting plays in, running up tempo, getting things going. I mean, what takes so damn long? You got 40 seconds on the play clock on the clock that when they wind it, what takes 40 seconds? If Max can't read the protections, which I can't believe that he can't, but they got to get the play in. Max is getting the play at 15 seconds. He goes up, he gets the protections, he looks around, the defense adjusts. I mean, it's a fucking travesty. Tucker Oliver says Jake Peets is beyond. And look, if you're just joining us and you're around kids, I'm sorry. The gloves are off tonight. This is like AYS after dark. I mean, shit, it's 12:07 in the morning. I'm going to be at the freaking Saints game tomorrow. So if you're around kids, I'm sorry, but I can't keep pumping sunshine and rainbows up people's asses all damn week, and then we come out here and we play like dog shit. But I agree with Tucker here. Jake Peets is completely beyond. Guys, you can't learn on the job at LSU. You can't learn on the job. Well, Joe Brady said, with all due respect to Joe Brady, who gives a damn Rudy Poo who he thinks is a good coach? It doesn't. Is Joe Brady the head coach here? Is Dave Aranda, with all due respect to Durante Jones, who I think has called good games, you're the fucking head coach. Getting in fights with Matt. I'm going to get blackballed for this, so it doesn't really matter anymore. So the times that I go to practice, guys, that's probably going to be over. I'm sorry. But Matt Canada, Jerry Sullivan, Steve Ensminger, Joe Brady, Scott Linehan, Jake Peets, DJ Mangus. Guys, he's been through more coordinators offensively, and that's another issue offensively, than he's been here. This is sixth season for Ed. He's had more coordinators. If you want to call him a passing game coordinator, he's had more of those that have failed than anybody. Bayou Chubbs, what's up, Bayou? He says, say it out loud. Connor is your starting running back. Guys, no, you know what? No, he's not, because they won't start him. I mean, when I'm sitting here looking at the play sheet or the drive sheet, and Connor's first carry in the second half is 14 yards. Then on fourth down, you don't go to Ty Davis Price. They go to Corey Kiner. The Austin Deculus hold hurts you, and I get that. But, man, tonight's show is brought to you by betonline.ag. Use your mobile devices, 50% off. Use it as a welcome bonus. We're here live at the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Richie Roche, one of our good sponsors, says that should tell you something. Your head coach has to call Brady to ask for a hire. I mean, it's the truth, man. It's the truth. Josh Taylor says Dave Aranda needs to come back. He might be interested. Coach, I can't go there yet. Aaron, not with Dave Aranda, I mean. Luke Fickle's got a good thing tonight. Aaron Adams says this is ridiculous. We're going backwards. Not only are we going backwards, guys, it's just the incompetence. I mean, let's look at this. Hold on. Let's look at this. Max Johnson was 26 of 46, 300. The simple fact that he's throwing the ball 46 times. Listen to this. Take the sack yardage. You can take the sack yardage out of it. This is where you lost the game. 25 carries, 32 yards, your longest run from scrimmage. So, excuse me, it wasn't 14 yards. It was 11 by Connor. 11-yard rush for Corey Connor. 5 carries, 22 yards. And before you say that's less than 5 yards a carry, the kid's got to get in a rhythm. But let's flip over to the Auburn side of rushing. Bo Nix, 12 carries, 74 yards. Jaquez Hunter, 6. Let's listen. This is where you lost the game. And I told you all week this is where you'd lose the game. Bo Nix, 74 yards. Jaquez Hunter, 65 yards on 6 carries. You did contain Tank Bigsby, 9 carries of 27 yards, but they had 29 carries, 163 yards, over 5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, along as a 44 there at the end. That's where you lost the football game. If you can't run the football, you don't deserve to be out there in the SEC. I'm sorry. Kayshon Boutte, 6 catches, 127 yards. Jack Pesh, 7 catches, 84 yards. But then you got, what's his name? The Schultz kid, the tight end for Auburn. And guys, they targeted him 7 times in the first half, 5 catches. I mean, for crying out loud, somebody guard the man. And I'm not going to get on the defense, but that's just the incompetence I'm talking about. Here's the biggest thing that I've been emphasizing over the weeks. LSU went 6 of 17 on third downs. Ever since Brady did leave, LSU has been incompetent on third down. Not good, not bad, horrible, horrendous, trash, dookie water, Rudy Poo. They have been bad. 6 of 17 is not good. First off, here's another thing. You shouldn't have 17 attempts. You shouldn't be in a situation where you're at third down 17 times. You get 19 first downs. Drive killers when LSU gets in third down. The times that they sustain drives, let's look at it. No third down. No third down. Third down, don't convert, kick a field goal. That's just one random drive that I click on. Unreal, man. Tucker says Coach O is a head coach still solely because of Joe Brady and Joe Burrow. Mark says Auburn's offense, Nick's run, throw to the running back, throw to the tight end, beat LSU all last night, all night, man. It didn't stop. It just didn't stop. Jamal says LSU allowed Auburn to come back. No question they did. But guys, when you can't score points and you keep in today's day and age, it doesn't matter how bad Auburn's offense is and has been in the past. Does not matter. They made Bo Nix look like Johnny Manziel at times. Prime Johnny football. But when you keep running your defense out there, and you can't score, you're going to get beat. Guys, this is an offensive league. When you got, I mean, at this point, it's just, it's getting unreal. Yeah, I just got a text. I'm probably going to get blackballed. Hey, you know what? If that means that you're watching us after you just got your ass beat, bro, let's take the gloves off. You want me to take the full gloves off? Let's take them off. LSU staff and in football ops has a lot of incompetence around it. The word of the night, incompetence. They're more worried about what I say after getting their ass beat than actually worried about what happened during the game. Hey, we need to talk. I'm right here, Big Daddy. Unreal. Blaine Smith, this offense is a few big plays sprinkled and incompetent with little rhythm. I agree there. Let's get to a couple more of these comments. John says Pete's coached at Bama and in the NFL 4 different teams, but suddenly Ruffino thinks he's unqualified. Guys, John, he's never called plays before. There's a big difference in coaching at places and never coaching or never calling plays. Blake Ruffino, all of a sudden, do you want me to pull up the episodes where I say, hey, guys, it's a big deal when you never call plays? Kevin says, are you serious, bro? Forget 2019, for God's sake. I'm not the one bringing it up. Orgeron's the one bringing it up. Orgeron hired a coordinator because he hung out with for Joe Brady for a year. This is Orgeron bringing all of this in. Justin Crane says, why is Hugh Freeze not being approached? Because the SEC is not going to allow Hugh Freeze to come back in the league. Sorry, guys. Get that out of your head. It's not going to happen. Just not going to happen. David King says, can we get TJ Finley back? With all due respect, TJ Finley's not going to give you a win tonight. He's not. He's just not. So, David, I'm sorry. He's not going to get you a win. Hell, he got pulled after going 1 for 4 for Bo Nix. He's not going to get you a win. Val Browning, what's up, Val? Says Coach O is a little and his little polished leprechaun need to be glad that Aranda is gone. Otherwise, they would be unemployed come Monday. Who said that they won't be? Guys, I'm just telling you, I'm going to be at the Saints game. So somebody's probably going to, if there is breaking news, which I don't know if there will be, somebody's going to have to break it. Jamar Jackson says, if I'm the AD, I'm calling Kellen Moore or Eric Bieniemy. Chuck says LSU made themselves one-dimensional. That's the biggest thing. And that's the biggest thing for LSU offensively the entire season. Guys, you're throwing the ball 46 times and running the ball 25. Some of those are coming on sacks because those are statistically going against or for rushes for Max. Peter says Jamal won the first drive. Jamal won the first drive. I don't know who Jamal is. Highland says we're about to be the Arkansas and Vanderbilt of the SEC. No, we're not. Scott Woodward ain't going to let that happen. And quite honestly, I mean, I'm going to leave that one alone. Gunner says it's so sad that we can't throw deep balls when we need to be. Well, guys, I mean, with all due respect, I mean, it's not – why are you throwing deep balls? I mean, if you have to rely on a 50-50 ball to be able to go down the field and score, you don't deserve to score. You don't – and I get what Gunner's saying here. I mean, you can't rely on that. You have to sustain drives. I mean, guys, you're up 2 late with 4 minutes left, and then Jack Besh gets 2 catches. Auburn has 5 guys in the box. LSU then continues to throw to 7 and 8 in coverage. Max Johnson bats down the ball. Incompletion, quick pass, catch, not a first down. Lonnie says our center may be the worst center in all of college football. Talking about Liam Shannon. Guys, I know what you're saying here, but this ain't all. The scheme and play calling is not on your center. Barrett Granger says, bye-bye, O, Falk, and whoever the O-line coach is. Guys, Kevin Falk hasn't been – come on, man. He hasn't been there since – come on. Stop with that. That's Rudy Poo. Brad Fleming says, Coach O won a national title. This team will be fine. You people are pitiful. LSU has the worst fans ever. Okay, then leave. Brother, I don't know what to tell you. He winning a national championship 2 years ago means nothing right now. I mean, great. Love Orgeron. He did good in 19, but at what point do we pull the gloves off? There's a reason that 445 people or 455 people are in here right now because the gloves have to come off at some point. You think that guys, it does not behoove me one iota to come out here and say, screw everything, screw what they're doing here. Orgeron's Rudy Poo. Pete doesn't know what he's doing. Behooves me none. Because y'all don't get blackballed, I do. Lamar Williams says this is absolutely ridiculous. Ed Ingram should be benched. I don't disagree with that. So should the center. I don't disagree with that either. Don't disagree with that either. Going to be interesting what they do. I mean, guys, Ed Ingram was supposed to be an NFL guy. He's not right now. He's not right now. Holland says we're about to be the Arkansas. Oh, we already got to that one. Let's get to more of these comments. Jason says Chris Williams, Max has done it several times. Burrow did it several times. I don't know what that means. Mark Spell says, damn, these comments are flying in too fast. DMT says Brad stopped it. I was apologetic. I think you guys are commenting to one another. Trell says Les Miles won a championship and all wanted him gone, so fire O. Champy sends us some stars via Facebook. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. Nick Gidry says, hey, everybody knows the issue, and the issue isn't going away unless you open up the checkbook. Fact. Patrick Savoy says offensive line is non-existent. Yeah, they are non-existent. But there are times for me too, like, man, you're not even trying to have a running game. You're not trying to throw the ball in the flat. You're not trying to do anything. I mean, Amari Goodwin Amari Goodwin was your starting running back. You don't see him for the rest of the game. Unless he was injured, but I kept seeing him standing on the sideline. What in the hell was that about? Guys, I'm too frustrated. I'm too frustrated with, we've given them 4 weeks. Hell, we've given them more than 4 weeks. We've given them 10 games last year. We've given them 4 games this year. We've given them 14 games in 2 seasons, and nothing has really changed. Keeping backs in to block, going max protection. The max protection thing, Orgeron keeps saying, we can't get running backs out in the flat or dump it off to them, yada, yada, yada. Guys, yes, you can. We just saw a defensive line from our offensive line from Auburn who couldn't block somebody, as my good friend Jake Crane would say, couldn't block somebody on Facebook right now. And then, and Bo was scrambling for his life all night long. And what do they do to establish the running game? Jarquez Hunter. Let's go look at it. Box score. Jarquez Hunter receiving. Shivers, 5 catches, 38 yards. So Shivers more. So 5 catches, 38 yards. That's establishing the running game. And then you got the Robertson kid who would catch in the flat. Hunter, Bigsby, all getting catches out of the backfield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 catches out of the backfield for Auburn's backs to establish some form of a running game. 8 on 28 of the 23 completions from Bo Nix. 8 of the 23. Carlos says, bro, I'm still speechless. I never, ever seen LSU's team so soft. We weren't playing SEC ball. No, we weren't. We haven't been. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. This is the LSU AYS postgame show. We really appreciate it. Arlen Blackwell says running plays versus pass plays isn't that important. What's important is being able to run or pass when you need to. I agree with that. I don't care if LSU has 46 passing attempts and 25 rushing attempts, but I'd like to get those 25 rushing attempts closer to 100 yards when you're running the football. But if you run the ball that effectively, you don't have to have 46 passing attempts. That's the whole thing with it. Cole says Max was getting so mad waiting on the play. You could see him cussing mad and then running them damn slants. Well, the slants were effective, and I don't know why LSU continued to get away from it. That is the part to me that was more frustrating than anything is they keep getting away from things that work. Why is LSU consistently getting away from things that work? That I do not know. That I don't know. But Max was and has been over the last 4 weeks getting visibly mad when it takes a play call so long. They're wanting to, if you're going to wait and do the check with me to get the play in, why are they doing that? I personally don't get that. Giving the defense time to adjust. If you're going to do stuff like that, go in a huddle, break. Everybody knows what they need to do. Get in the line of scrimmage, and don't say, well, you can't run the huddle. Guys, it's done in the NFL every single day with guys that are much smarter and seeing a lot more football. Hell, Joe Brady's doing it. Don't tell me you can't do it. You have to have, and as who said that, ground and pound. You have to have the ability. You have to have the ability when it's time to nut up or shut up to be able to run the football for a damn yard. Like you have to. There's not a question about that. There's just not a question about that anymore, guys. You have to be able to run the football. And they're soft right now. They're soft. They are absolutely soft. I don't get it, y'all. I just don't get it. Justin Owen says the effort by Damone Clark on the touchdown right before the half when Nix ran it in didn't wrap up, led with the shoulder, and actually helped push him in. Yeah. Fast forward to Auburn's final TD drive. Yep. But guys, I can't. I just can't. I just can't put this on the defense solely. Like I can't do it for when you're only having. I tweeted this during the game. When you have the first 15 plays for LSU offensively are golden. Guys, they've scored the last 4 weeks now? The last 4 weeks LSU has scored on that opening drive or close to damn near in the first 15 plays. They have scored on in between that time frame. Once Jake Peets has to adjust and doesn't have the play call of 15, he does not know what he's doing. He doesn't. Nick Guidry says, why would a running back come to LSU? If he's good, he'll need to go elsewhere. I don't disagree, y'all. I just don't disagree. I know it's getting late. Oh, well. Everybody do us a favor by hitting like and share. Tucker says, and there's a reason Mississippi State hasn't won a natty in 26 years since the 26 years I've been alive. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. Jason Gidger says, might as well play 5 wide if we ain't going to run the ball. Yeah. If you're not going to run the football, the play actions, the RPOs don't mean shit. Even if you're not even going to attempt it. Guys, sometimes you have to even attempt the run just to attempt it, to keep the defense honest. Hell, Ty Davis-Price, 5 carries, 18 yards. Connor, 5 carries, 22 yards. So in between the both of them, 10 rushes. That can't happen. That just can't happen. Peggy Red says there were running backs open that could have caught passes. I agree. Seth says because Mississippi State doesn't have a coaching issue. Hey man, one thing I am happy about is that A&M lost. That's one thing I am happy about. Charlie says Coach O done stick a fork in him. Tommy King says, unless we settle down, it looks like we'll go 6-5. 6-5, 6-6. I mean, really and truthfully, I mean, LSU has, again, well, and I'll continue to say this, I think that they have the talent to win. They don't have the coaching. We are a very poorly coached team. We are a highly poor coached team. And from start to finish, we are just such a bad coach team. Shampy Johnson says Max Johnson is a sophomore with no running game and throwing against 8 men in a coverage. It's just plain insane. Yeah, it's plain insane. And it's kind of crazy how people are putting the game on him. Guys, 8 people in coverage, and Auburn was rushing 3. You have 5 down linemen, and they were still getting pressure. Guys, 3 guys were rushing the passer, were 5 offensive linemen, and they were getting home. The O-line is just played like dog shit. They played like dog shit tonight on some series. Mark Spell says, preach getting away from things that work. Look, and that's been a constant issue for the entire season. For the entire season. It has never gotten better. This hasn't gotten better. LSU has they have no identity offensively. Do you want to run RPOs? Do you want to pip and pop? Guys, when's the time that we have attacked the middle of the field? I mean, outside of slants. I mean, you're doing these pick and pops and like the Jack Besh. When was it? The Jack Besh 41-yard catch and run on the third offensive series, the one that started the timeout. Jack Besh on the crossing route goes 41 yards. Smoke Monday, the safety for Auburn, is lined up against Jack Besh, and you run a crossing route. That was a pretty damn good call, and you don't get back to it. There's no reason that we should have lost tonight. Grammy, I'm sorry, brother, if I pronounce your name wrong. But says, what about Dabo? Their offense sucks too. Man, they can't. Their offense stinks too. Brian says, first year in a while that there's no dominant running backs or linebacker. Well, truthfully, we don't know what we have in Corey Connor. I mean, guys, truthfully, we have no idea whatsoever what we have in Corey Connor. You're not giving him enough touches. And hats off to Brian Harsin. Hats off to Brian Harsin when his great back, Tank Bigsby, couldn't get anything going. What does he do? I mean, he starts getting other running backs involved. He starts getting running backs out in space. He starts doing bootlegs, waggles, getting it to the tight end, getting Bo Nix. When you roll out and you do a play action, you start rolling out, usually you have somebody in the flat, someone medium, someone in the back, and you work your way down. You work from the top down. So, and Bo was constantly, they were giving him so many good play calls. You just got out-coached tonight, and Bo Nix outplayed you. Didn't go down, 12 catches, 74 yards. It's unreal, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, man. Derek says Dabo ain't going nowhere. Probably not. I'd call him, though. You got to call Dabo, man. You got to call Dabo. If you're going to do it, you got to call Dabo. Roderick says offense did a check with me more this game than last game. I hated seeing it. Yeah, you hate seeing it. And when your quarterback is constantly frustrated with the offensive play calling, he's constantly frustrated with getting the play calls in. Guys, you saw the game. You know what's going on. It's been a 5-week issue. It's been a 5-week issue. There's no screens. There's no, you motion and running back or wide receivers in the backfield. You're never giving them the football. There's so many things that they're trying to do, but they're not efficient enough to do it. Guys, 10 carries in between your two running backs, your two main running backs, is not going to win shit. And when Corey Connor's busting runs for 11 yards, catching balls in the flat, let's see how many times LSU. Corey Connor, 1 catch, 6 yards, first down. Ty Davis Price, 1 catch, 9 yards, first down. So what does Auburn do? Hey, we can't run the ball. Jaquez Hunter, boom, catch. Shivers, 5 catches, boom. You know what? We're going to extend the running game with our tight end all night long. Shivers, boom. They did it all night long. They dinked and dunked your ass all night long. Zeta Great says the 4 field goals in the red zone, and for the love of Jesus himself, can hike the ball, or just help me. So let me read that again. 4 field goals in the red zone, and for the love of Jesus himself, can hike the ball, or what? Help me, Zay. I don't know what you mean there. I don't know what you mean. Ryan Thibodeau said sends us $2 via super chat. Says hashtag check with D's nuts. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm glad I haven't drinking anything tonight. I might be the most sober LSU fan on the face of the planet. Derek says, give me an offer since head coach. That is where the game has moved, and LSU has not involved that yet. I mean, Ed Orgeron, let's call it what it is, Derek. Ed Orgeron right now is the spectrum of head coaches. For the people of Hurricane Ida that still don't have service, Ed Orgeron is the spectrum, charter spectrum of services. Terrence says, I'm going to call Lane. I boycott it. I'll boycott it. Jacob Cole says, hashtag feed Connor. I don't disagree, man. Guys, you're not going to get disagreement out of me from this. From that, at least. Kevin May says, we can't run behind this O-line. A bunch of 6-year seniors means they aren't NFL talent. Then explain Connor getting 11 yards. I mean, look, I understand that LSU may not be able to run the football. And there's no real disagreement to that. But when they have 5 guys in the box and they're dropping 8, you have to be able to do something. You remember when LSU was down the red zone and Ty Davis Price got an 8-yard run. Second and long. Ty Davis Price got an 8-yard run or whatever it was, or 7-yard run. You got to run the football, even to keep them honest. You got to keep them honest. You can't just keep dropping back with this vanilla-ass scheme. If you're going to drop back that many times, you better just go full-on air raid and have the same principles. But hell, even Mississippi State tonight showed that guys, Mississippi State is a better running football team than you are. They run it more, which is crazy to me that they have more rushing attempts than LSU. I mean, LSU is going to be dead last in offensive rushing efficiency. Dead last. We went from a coach in Les Miles who would always be in the top 2 or 3 in the country to not, and I get the passing and you kind of flip-flop, but you have a head coach in Ed Orgeron that preaches toughness and physicality. The team does not look like the head coach, meaning teams normally take on the resemblance of their head coach, and they're not tough up front offensively. They can't get lined up. They can't communicate. They can't do shit. They're horrendous, y'all. Arlen says, I hope Connor doesn't transfer. Well, you better go get a good head coach. And look, before people start throwing out Urban Meyer and shit, you need to go check that video out from tonight. I mean, because he was getting grinded all up on. I told, the people I was watching the game with before I came to Drake Williams Law Firm. We are live from the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com, 154 West Pine Street, Ponchatoula, Louisiana. I told them I felt horrible about this game. They'll back me up on it. I said, guys, I feel like dog shit right now. And they were making fun of me all game. I'm getting texts from them saying, we're sorry we doubted. But I feel like that every week. So what am I bitching about? Adam Stofall says, I'm sick with a check with me bullshit. Just frustrating to watch with this circus ass shit. Don't disagree. Corey so right here, middle of the field was open up all night, completely. Dump it over the line, dump it behind the linebacker. I mean, if you're completing slants on slants on slants, make them stop it. Make the safeties walk down the box and then take your shot. Charles Taylor says, we called a timeout after a timeout. What the fuck? And then, I mean, man. Oh, thank God we didn't give Orgeron that lifetime contract like Burrow asses to. We'd be up Shit's Creek. Boone says, question. When you hear O talking about the offense, does it actually sound like he has a fucking clue to what our scheme is? No, it does not. He doesn't know. No, he does not know. And look, LSU might somehow find a way to pull a miracle out of the hat in the Bluegrass State next weekend. But guys, I'm not picking LSU. What would I pick LSU for? I mean, because do you want to know who is a physical football team? Kentucky. And they're going to beat your ass down all night long. They love it. It's like they're like the Rocky Balboa without the championships. They love the punishment, and they love to dish out the punishment. They are the most physical football. It is the complete opposites of offensive lines. Kentucky's offensive line will punch you in the mouth and laugh when they do it. They're like the Incredible Hulk when he gets punched by the big Iron Man, whatever that was, in the second Avengers movie, and then starts laughing at it as he's spitting out teeth. If you play soft next week, you're gonna get routed. But ain't no way I'm picking LSU next week. Because there's a lot of people watching. Let me just say this here. LSU might somehow, some way pull a rabbit out of a hat. I just can't see it. For the rest of the season, LSU's going to, week in and week out, LSU's going to have to prove to me that they have a pulse offensively. The simple fact that you can't get the best, let's call it what it is. Kayshon Boutte is not only the best player on your offense, he might be arguably the best player in the SEC offensively. We're like, that's not even a I mean, it's a debatable topic. Like, it's clearly a debatable topic, and he might not be, but you're not getting your best offensive player the ball in the second half. How that shows everything. Derek says Coach O is a used car salesman that got his one lucky sale, it appears. Corey says free Jack Bash. Hell, free John Emery. Let's go here. The incompetence in the athletic department, the incompetence on the coaching field. It's chaos right now. There's things that there's things that you can't blame Orgeron on. Les Miles literally paying a co-ed to not rat him out and file a lawsuit. That's not on that part of the Title IX is not on Orgeron. But he was smiling and chuckling. He knows, blaming the coaching staff. You know what? We'll go there. I was told that, there were some things after the game that he's blaming the coaching staff after UCLA that coaching staff put him on the hot seat. Outside of Corey Raymond, you got a clean house. Unless LSU can find a way to rally off. By the way, my beard's safe. For everybody that's watching, I said if LSU won 7 straight, I'd shave my beard live on the show. Sucks for y'all. My beard, my beard gets back to stay. Quinn says Miles having flashbacks, play calling, and dog water, making the game so much harder than it needs to be. Quinn might have one of the best comments of the night. They are making it harder than it needs to be. They are making it so much harder than it needs to be. It's unreal, man. Guys, if you can't tell, I'm pissed off. And I think that we have the right to be pissed off. And look, this is what's going to happen. Orgeron's camp and his staff, they're going to be, playing blackball to everybody, but it is what it is. It's inevitable. I don't need sourcing for shit that you don't confirm to me anyway. So Jordan says, I'm sure our defensive line whips the O-line every week in practice. Oh, God. Ryan Thibodeau says, how Max doesn't have more INTs is dumbfounding. How he's not sacked more, how he doesn't have more. You know why he doesn't have more interceptions, Ryan? Because the truth is he is a good quarterback. Kid doesn't have a running game. He has incompetent play calling. To wrap up Jake Peetz's play calling duties, the man ran the ball with 1 minute and 45 seconds where Ty Davis Price got 6 yards. If that doesn't just put a bow on the stupidity. Bobby says, is mingling again on our coordinators to make adjustments? Hell yeah, we've been talking about that all week. I've been talking about it all week on my show. He has been meddling. He has been meddling. Not so much on defense anymore, but hell yeah, he's been meddling. Don't run the quarterback. LSU had success when Max finally pulled it. He slipped, but they should have gone back to that. They should have gone back to some zone reads. They should have got him out in space. Let him get down. Don't let him take unnecessary hits. But for whatever reason, they can't see with their eyes that you have to at least attempt to run the football. Like, they don't see it. And it's going to get them beat. And it's going to get people fired. Orgeron doesn't have any more coordinator hires. This is it. Orgeron can't be here, okay, if he's going to continue to make hire after hire after hire. At some point, that money that they're using, they're going to use on him. Carlos says, bro, I seen on consecutive plays Auburn rush 2 down linemen, bro. That's ridiculous. Carlos, we talked about that in the beginning of the show, and I hit my head with the damn thing. Guys, there were times where Auburn legitimately had 9 son of a guns in coverage. 9 fucking guys were in coverage. And you're throwing the football. 9 fucking guys were in coverage. Kenny says, I will say it again, Orgeron is our Gene Chizik. Can't do that. Or can't, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't argue there. Adam Stovall says, Cole Taylor showed tonight why he's having trouble getting playing time. He's so soft. Jason says, right, who else is going to beat? We're going to beat to get 6 wins. I don't know. I have no clue. Jeffrey Till says, where will we get 3 more wins? I don't see it. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. I mean, A&M, if you're going to do transient property, you beat Mississippi State last week on the road. And look, we got to give it up to LSU fans. Something I didn't mention. We got to give it up to LSU fans. They packed the house, and wasn't for a lack of not having a home field advantage. Jamal says, I'm in Baton Rouge now, headed downtown. Okay, cool. John says, we lose to Bama and Ole Miss, win the rest. Book it. If LSU beats Kentucky somehow next week, I will be amazed. So then I make LSU 8-4, LSU's 8-4. It's guys. I'm done. I said I was gonna give myself the time. I don't know if I've ever said Orgeron needs to go yet, but Lane says time for a proper coach. No, Cade asks, is 19 Orgeron's first season? No, it wasn't. And y'all know that. Kevin says, what happened to the tempo on offense we were promised in the last 2 games? Clock management and shades of Les Miles. We have 4 and less than a yard in the red zone. We call a timeout and then bring in a false start. Well, it's inexcusable. Guys, it's inexcusable. I don't know what to like. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I mean, unless Orgeron wants to start or give it over to DJ Mangus, unless Orgeron wants to give play calling over to DJ Mangus, I mean, guys, it can't get any worse. Guys, if he gives the play calling over to DJ, it does it. And I think Jake Peets is a good guy. Like, as a person, I think he's a great dude. But he's not a good – you can't cut your teeth in the SEC as a first-time play caller. I mean, everybody talks about Joe, but, I mean, you still had white-hair Steve Ensminger there. Eric Wright says O-Line was gassed in the third. They were gassed. That's a good point. He's right. I mean, not only gassed, but just – I don't know. Chris Williams says, is the LSU coaching staff the NFL scrubs? No, I mean, guys, I still think Durante Jones has been good defensively. Like, I don't, I'm not putting that on Durante. I thought that he, again, at some point the defense is going to break. In the last 2 weeks, they broke. XC on YouTube says he's giving the YouTubers some love. Who, me? Trying to. I always try to. Zay says somebody has to explain to me how we call offensive timeouts after dead balls. Just lack of preparation and not knowing what to do. I mean, that is proof that they don't know what to do. I mean, they had struggles with that when Orgeron first took over. We blamed that on Les Miles and some of the things that were going on. I don't know. I mean, why don't you have packages of up tempo? Like, what were you doing all off season? And why? Orgeron says that we have to stop doing this check with me. Big Daddy, it is your team. You can tell them no more check with me's. Like, Coach O can legitimately say, Jake Peets, no more check with me's. And honestly, if you're going to do the check with me stuff, give that shit over to your quarterback. If Max wants to call, make an audible, let him do it. But Orgeron making excuses and putting it on Jake Peets is bullshit. Well, I told Jake not to run the check with me. Dog, you're the head coach. You're the boss. You're the CEO. Stop making excuses, you Rudy Poo. I told Jake to stop running. Then why is he doing it? Get the play sheet. Start calling the damn plays yourself. I know he's never done it. It's, I'm not getting in that argument. But you can tell him to stop doing it. Mark says running back is only as good as his offensive line, and offensive line sucks. You still have to, again, guys, I'm not going to make the argument anymore because it's falling on deaf ears. If you get a yard, you get 2 yards. You have to show that you're going to do it. Why the frick do you think, Mark, this isn't on you. I love you, brother. Mark, I love you. But why do you think that Mississippi State does it. They don't want to run the football. They don't care for running the football. Mike Leach has said as much. But they do it to keep guys honest. He doesn't care if he has 20 carries for 20 rushing yards. He don't care. He does not care. But he's going to keep you honest. He's going to keep you honest. Ryan DeFest says coaches don't know what's going on so much. They're just asking hashtag or quote unquote ask Madden for the help. That's a good way of putting it, my friend. It's a good way of putting it, Ryan. All right, we'll go a little bit longer. Let's get a couple more, and then we'll get on out of here. Patrick says no run game equals screens, no attempts. Carly King says bring on Kiffin, Councilman King. I didn't like what I saw today from him. Derek says, Blake, you're absolutely right about the run game. Those body shots add up throughout the game, man. Yeah, they add up throughout the game. Completely. Lavarian says Urban Meyer to Baton Rouge. He looks like he's ready for the run to run from Jacksonville. Well, hell, he was getting lap danced upon today. I mean, he was. I don't know. I don't know what constitutes you cheating on your wife. I don't know that because I've never done it. Never cheated on my wife. But I mean, that man was getting a full-on lap dance. Unless his wife's cool with it, I mean, I don't know. Marvin Mackey Jr. says he's already making excuses right now in the presser. Of course he is, Marvin. Of course Orgeron's making excuses. Why wouldn't that Rudy Poo be making excuses? Marvin, give me some examples of what he's saying. Give me some examples of what he's saying. Would love to hear what Orgeron's got to say from coming out of his coming out of that Rudy Poo press conference. Would love it. DMT says poor Max. He has to sit and answer questions about why plays aren't getting called faster. Max said they're changing the play and only giving him a few seconds to set protection. This bullshit. It's bullshit. Fire Pete. If there's one thing I will say to fire Pete. But let me say this: if Orgeron fires another coordinator, he doesn't get any more. This is it. Tired of firing coordinators. They want to move on. Coordinators moving on to other places is one thing. Firing them is something completely other. And let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. We called for Steve Ensminger to leave, and that man went and hired Jake Peets and DJ Mangus because Joe Brady told him to. Marvin, give me some things Orgeron's saying in here. What's Orgeron saying? Kenny says, well, we'll find somebody good. Hell, be careful with that. He found Jimbo. Jimbo looking like shit right now. Peggy Red, what's up, Peggy? Says Zachariah Cameron all over Twitter. With what, Peggy? Cade Vaughn says, why do we act like 19 was Orgeron's first season? It wasn't his first season. James says, well, who dat? I'll be there tomorrow. Again, and Wayne says, need Ensminger back to call offense. Well, we ran him off. Oh, there's Zachariah. What's up, dude? Says, dang, I need to look up that Meyer story. I didn't hear about this. What's up, Zachariah? Yeah, he was getting lap danced upon. They were playing, what was it? Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the flow. Next thing you know, Urban was getting low. Yeah, bro. Zachariah, they was hitting that thing. And he also says, I would love that and some Mark Rick if he wasn't sick. Yeah, stay strong, my brother. Parkinson's is not fun, man. Derek says, just have Wilbur go to Happy Valley and bring in James Franklin. Oh, shit. Trail says, you can't blame the defense. They forced 2 straight 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter, and the offense didn't do shit. Bingo. Jacob Cole says, Cristobal got his ass beat today, too. But look, Cristobal has an excuse because his offensive coordinator wasn't there. But, I don't know what he's going to do. I legitimately don't know what's going to happen if they fire Orgeron. Adam King says, will be fired after the season. We'll see. Marvin Mackey says the first thing he said was we couldn't run the ball and tackle every time we ran. We got stuff. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Not you, Marvin, but Orgeron. Thank you, Captain Obvious. All right, we'll get to a couple more, and then we're going to get on out of here. It's getting late. It's 1 o'clock. I got to wake up early. Derek says, anyone blaming the defense for this game didn't watch it all. Defense got gassed. They gave up that drive to Knicks. Yep. Insminger is an analyst, but they're not going to – he ain't going to come back. You could – and look, Edward says you can bring back Insminger as head coach. I don't think he would do that to Ed, though. I don't think he'd do that to Ed. Not after everything he did that. Rick Newman says Blake Kiffin will be our next head coach. I will take a bet on it. I'll make a bet with you on that. No, he won't. Ain't no way. He's not a Scott Wilbur guy, guys. He's just not a Scott Wilbur guy. Not after the, guys, he did this today. He did this. He goes, get your popcorn ready. Guys, that won't fly in Baton Rouge. That can fly at Ole Miss. That ain't gonna fly in Baton Rouge. I'm just telling you. They'll talking about getting fired on a tarmac, and let's call a spade on Lane Kiffin too. Lane Kiffin is not a successful head coach. Everybody wants Lane because of offense and all this kind of stuff, but Lane is not a successful head coach. He also hasn't shown that he can be, for a long period of time, a successful recruiter. Ain't no way we bring in. No way. Marvin says, Blake, you should see your face. I saw your message. Chris Williams says, Bobby Stoops. We'll see. We'll see. Last one is Boone says, Kiffin can't beat Alabama and is going to head coach to Carolina or California as soon as he can, probably. I lied. This is the last one. I wouldn't mind Lincoln Riley, but I just can't see him leaving. You're going to have to pay him a shit ton of money. You're going to have to make him probably the highest paid coach in the country. And Glenn says, why do we only rush four the whole game? Well, the one time we brought the blitz, you remember they were late in the game, they threw a little quick pass out to the running back, and then they got burned. But you still got to bring pressure. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We will see y'all again Monday. I'll be posting some videos tomorrow from the Saints game live from the Dome. It's going to be fun and electric. We'll see y'all again tomorrow. Y'all have a good night.